Perfect. So you should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. I normally point that out. Looking at the crowd, this will probably still work for me. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. I know, right? By the way, bridal parties, that slays. Normally somebody's on the ground. I'm just going to point that out. So we're looking for cold spots, just like Dalton said. I'm getting names right so far, right?
Yep.
Perfect. All right,
So
so
far, so good.
I know. We got one
for
down. One for one. So with that, we're looking for those blue and black areas. And we're always going to have them because there's going to be cans on the ground. There's going to be windshields, glass on buildings. I want those blue and black areas to move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what we're looking for out of this guy. That's what we've caught with it in the past. That's hopefully what we'll capture with it again. There's also a blue dot bouncing around the screen. You may not be able to see it from the angle that you're staring at it at, but that blue dot is showing you the coldest spot in the frame at that moment. It will be in your video when you get it back. I look for 15 plus degree temperature drops. It's about 82 degrees out here for us ambient tonight. So I'll be looking for 67 degrees and colder out of that blue dot. If I find something, you'll get the marker and a screenshot of what I found. In the event that we don't have a full-blown blue person walking around. So with this one, I'm gonna hand it. So I had to wait like 6 weeks for the insurance to cover it, so I can. Luckily, I had a downgrade version in the retired box, so I had to use that.
I got you. You're in good hands. I'm like Allstate. Y'all kids getting anything?
Who were your 3 sons, Elijah?
Wait, what was the name? Shit. I'm up to 17 again. 1.2 again. 5.
Maybe I should
Something
record
keeps
you.
spiking here. I'm at 23.2. I went up to 29.3.
I'm recording you then. I ain't seeing no cold spots.
No, but something keeps coming over here.
Right. It could be the questions Jeffrey's answering.
Probably. That's why I have to move. 35.2.
I'm not getting nothing.
Nope, keep it running.
You step back. Keep asking. Keep asking. Keep asking. Ask confident.
What?
Ask confident. In a normal voice. Not like you're yelling.
Elijah, don't worry. How did you die?
All right, Jeff, what have you been hearing that you know of? Remember, I'm withholding a lot of shit. So all the silly things you're gonna hear, I don't care if it's a commercial, T-Swift, I don't care what it is. You tell me what you're hearing. Don't give me like conversational pieces like, hey, how are you? Like that doesn't mean anything. Factual things. Now, this is like an English class. Again, name, number, anything weird, normal,
That's and Amy. Oh, that's the guy taking out the trash.
like you're gonna get better at
I thought I saw something. It was just a guy out one of these businesses taking out trash.
Sorry on the camera.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
say sorry? Is yours recording?
Yeah.
Say sorry.
Sorry.
every time you have to do the word, I'm gonna write it down just so I get the words off the list.
So, like, I gotta pay
Any other words?
You had any,
Oh, yeah.
what do you got?
It went to 7.5, 14.7, 29.3, and 32.4.
Baseline's gonna be 25.
That's why I was reading.
Douglas?
Been able to see anything?
No,
Nothing following me?
no. I started recording Jess a little bit. She said she was getting some spikes, so I kind of rotated around her a little bit. Didn't see nothing, so other than that,
Really done anything?
you doing the EMF or whatever? Yeah. This thing's pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about it is it lags
Yeah.
a little bit, but other than that, because as you start rotating it, see the lag in it.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, it's pretty damn cool.
So you almost have to hold on to it to be able to, or hold it in one spot to see
Yeah.
if anything changes.
Yeah, you're not gonna, I don't think, be able to rotate with it, but so I just hold it for a spot on some people, and then I kind of rotate it around. It's pretty cool.
Certainly pick up the heat from the
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that ground is hot. That's pretty cool. That's pretty. This guy's good. I'll give him that. He is
seems
good.
to know his stuff.
Yeah. Nothing going on in the corner over here. Ooh, I hear that. I hear the voice box.
said, where were you when you died in that very different country? Eliza. How?
You getting anything, Amy?
Probably.
Probably.
It's not easy.
Yeah. It's really hard to decipher the opinion. Every once in a while when you heard a word, I was like, okay, maybe I did, but you can't record.
That's why you stay with the camera. That's the only way to know. That's the problem with a lot of spear boxes.
Which is also a big reason to why I'm saying things out loud.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, just so you know, if you get better at this, use your phone, take notes, because again, I'm going to be going through the screen. No. The only one that's recording is Jeff. The reason why I didn't give him and I replaced one of the Xbox. Finally died on me. I swear they're buying equipment like crazy. Things keep breaking all of a sudden. So they're coming in. Right, so it's rough. Try to replace everything within a 6-month cycle, but if everything doesn't work out financially, it's just expensive.
Well, I don't have any.
I would like the truck. Doug, anything? Whatever you got going on, right?
No, sir, nothing yet.
All right. I want to see the word list one more time and then talk to Jeff on color reasons.
You spiking?
No, I was with him over there. I went back up to 25.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recorded you for a little bit from different angles and stuff, hoping something might have come up. But
Every time he asked a question, it went spikes.
really?
Yeah. He was also calling it by the wrong name.
Oh. Well, you know, it's a legitimate mistake. What was he saying?
Eliza. Or
Eli-
Elijah.
Oh, like, well, it's legit.
Tell us, Eliza.
Maddie, are you getting anything?
I'm ready.
Are you rotating around? Trying to get all angles?
We just want to know that you're here.
Yeah, I see stuff behind you. What? Up to...
Jeff, what do you got? Read them off. I didn't bring your glasses. Okay. You're in the Holy City, man. You're getting a lot of that other stuff. I ain't getting like right now.
So now what is yours is just a bunch of IR, right?
Mine is just gray.
Yeah, a bunch of infrared. Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to catch. Can see anything.
You might.
Can you see anything on these? No, it's just noise.
You might. I don't know. No, that's for
Lots of
video.
conversational pieces, so really nothing that's super relevant in here. You gave me the 24.8. How's your camera work going? How's that thing handled? Because that thing's brand new too. So just like Dalton, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions. Like, does it feel awkward? Is it too small, too big?
No, it's fine.
Okay. You've obviously got the counter moving at this point, right? Like it is recording. So you're going to be keeping an eye on that for me, just because I'm still learning about it. I also need to know like how to describe it to future people. So you're kind of one of my guinea pigs as well tonight, just like Dalton, because it is a brand new device. Sorry, you about to say something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so if we need to turn it at a different angle to look at it, that's fine too. And how's your battery life look?
It's got great.
So probably after the next location, we'll probably swap out your light and your battery just so you can nice and fresh for the crazy experiment that we're going to be doing. With the 2 cameras that are in front of us and not Amy's, I don't always follow up with them in real time just because they're small. I do send your videos over to YouTube so I can watch them on a much bigger screen. You guys will be able to watch them on your TV. So I usually wait for the aftermath of that. So you guys are hopefully seeing the point of why I'm not always talking like specifically to you and with all the communication devices. All right, I say we rein everybody back. We got quite a bit going on here. Amy, did you see anything weird? Okay, that's what video's for. We review it anyway.
So stop recording,
Yeah, let's
or
go ahead and hit those stop buttons and open yours up. And let me see it for a second because I took you off of the night vision. It doesn't automatically start.
Turn on your stuff and keep it on.
The record button. Remember, your camera should go one way or the other. So I know
I look like I'm just looking for dark stuff. I'm not, I promise. I need you to back me up, man.
Alright, so the battery's not dead yet. We'll change it completely. You don't have the record button, which is on the back. There you go. Alright, let's gather around, everybody. Story time. Let's do this. So we're going to record, like, you're going to record one way or the other, so you almost want to, like, hold it back. It's like almost behind you to get it going one or the other down the alley. Alright, so this is Philadelphia Alley. All the tours come through here. We'll do exactly what we just did. We can either split the seas, roll around to one side. In the event with a camera, just so you guys know, other tours coming through here, they'll either come through that ivy wall right there because there's another set of stairs, or they'll come in the same way that we did. I cannot take you all the way through here. I've been kicked out of this location too. We're going to talk about it because it's funny. And I'll tell you what. But just so the cameras know, in any event another tourist passing by, just point your camera downwards. We'll all understand. Now, this is Philadelphia Alley. It used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Every ghost tour comes down here. All 339 ghost tours in Charleston, they all come here. It's a staple. I was actually going to take this out of my route because every ghost tour comes down here. And this tour is probably going to come all the way down through this as well. Because I like to take you guys to the weird spot. Again, it's kind of like the whole thing. Yeah, we're on Saturdays. It's a couple of spots. We're getting every ghost tour. So, oh, you're good. You're good. How are you?
Good, you?
Good.
I'm loving the weather tonight. It's better.
By the way, thank you for not picking the most humid night that we've had in the past 2 weeks. I greatly appreciate that.
We used it on a ghost tour in Georgia. Tommy?
Where was I? Philadelphia Alley, then Duelers Alley, right? And all the ghost tours come down here. Again, the guy followed me. Let's get into it. I'm going to tell you the same story that every ghost tour tells you, but I'm going to give you a few extra details so you can plenty, at the same time. What's going on with those guys? Here's how it goes. The doctor moved down here from Rhode Island. The Julian Special the letters R.I. on her little Ouija board device. She already knew about it on the way here because I told her. So R.I. is the first set of initials. But the doctor moves down here. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Flagg. Say his name slowly because if you guys hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. So anyway, Doc moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with this cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Flagg is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of that doctor. He moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his medical practice here. On his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver today. You guys get the point on that, right? Gotta be funny about those folks. But anyway, that's the kind of like point graph. It's a lot of stuff. But anyway, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen between the coachman and the newcomer. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Those initials sound familiar?
Rhode Island.
Right, exactly. Rhode Island. So I was getting the letters R.I. all the time on a regular spirit box, the one that Jeff is using, so I bought the one that Julian's using. This little device to kind of verify who it belongs to. It belongs to Ralph. I've gotten it about 7 times, but only when I bring up Ralph's name. Back to Ralph, he tells Doc, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them, and you'll be safe and good to go. So Doc took him up on the offer, and the 2 gentlemen became friends. The longer the Doc voice record us from your phones. Just remember, every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up in that tunnel in Foot Main Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. It's just something we do here. But I can't take you all the way through because I've been kicked out. Let's talk about that. That's the fun part. There used to be a wall halfway between us and Cumberland Street. Got everything there for most stops over there. I told you every tour comes down here. On Fridays and Saturdays, it's like wall to wall. Thursday. Now last night I had the whole alley to myself. So changed from last night. And I don't time this, so I can't say, oh, I know there's going to be 12 tours in the alley right now. You know, I don't time this, no. But the wall in between us and Cumberland Street was there because this was called Cow Alley. This is where all the livestock was coming from the city of Charleston. So I'm telling you this because they actually started building it down there. And that means those bricks are older than the ones we're standing on. Those bricks by Queen Street are sun-dried bricks from slave children. You guys may have heard about this on other tours, but there's a full handprint in one of those bricks down there, some fingerprint swipes and other bricks. And I used to take my groups all the way through here for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not staring at the brick in the afterlife. That's the last place you're going to find him. It was, again, part of our history. So November 26th of 2020, I took my group down there for a history lesson to show off the brick and kind of let them move on. They all stopped and they huddled around the brick, waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I handed them. I know nothing's going to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along. Let's go. Because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful because somebody lives there. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours at that time of night. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical. Her dad's getting yelled at on the tour when he's at work. She was on the tour that night with me. She thought it was great. Anyway, we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You all fight over cows on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I'm never working over Thanksgiving ever again. The next day was the 28th of November. I called my partner I had at the time, and I told him what happened. He laughed at me like my daughter did and said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. That's the cutoff point because it's considered residential after that. You're going to have to reroute your group. Well, I'm sold out again for Black Friday. I'm still new at this. I got to wing it. I told my group I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you the pirate story next, but that's the other place I've been kicked out of. We're not talking about that tonight. But before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get something. I took them around the corner, told them what I did know about pirates in Charleston. Not much, by the way. 2 hours of research only. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant. I wrote it down. I do the research for them. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. I normally get the, that's pretty cool. I was pissed off. Master's degree in creative writing. Whenever I'm doing anything, especially stuff paranormal where I have to research, I need like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. That was written 100 years after the alleged golden age of piracy. And I say alleged because there's really no full account of it. So that's a problem for me. So whenever you guys were finding things relevant to piracy, especially Anne Bonny, that's a shit ton of books I gotta read. And it took me 4 years to get us up to the story point where I was at with that location, and then they started monitoring the location for other tours to not go there. And other tours weren't going there to talk about pirates and Anne Bonny. They were going there to talk about the Power magazine, because that's what we would be next to. So I can't take you guys there tonight. Instead, we're going to be using Madison's camera for this apparition experiment. I will tell you the history of what this apparition is about and what every other ghost tour will tell their groups. And we're hopefully going to capture things we normally wouldn't be able to see with our own eyes, which is an apparition. So the story is a little on the darker side, so it's going to get darker than Dr. Ladd, but I want you to keep in mind that Dr. Ladd will follow us for the remainder of the evening. When we leave this space, soon you can get unmuted, but when we reach the group, obviously mute back up again to show some respect to them. They're not looking at us a little too weird. Spirit boxes, Jeff, listen. As we're going around the corner, talk to me about like what we've seen so far. What other words have you gotten that you wanted to talk about? Anything specific?
Screw. Cold. Surprise. That's it.
Okay. So she didn't have anything else before that. Any numbers I need to know about from the millimeters, track field meter, anything?
Lower decimal height.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
I see you kind of loading it
yeah,
lower.
Yeah, the highest it would go is like 3.9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that 9.2.
That's why I was like,
sure.
well, what the crap? That's why I was thinking maybe kids or something. Like the lower you were going. But then I
It
was
also
like,
depends on what type of stone and brick you're dealing with. So some of those stones that are behind you, Jessica, is probably going to hold on to a little bit of EMF. So certain stones will give off EMF on its own.
Yeah.
And the reason why we go to 2.5 directly is because the Earth actually gives off up to 1.1. Because again, the Earth is a giant rock.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to look at those certain things. I used to take you guys to an alley where the stones that were like make up the cobblestones of it are not supposed to emit EMF, but we would get crazy readings out of them on certain nights only. So it was like a rotating pattern. It was like a stone tape theory, but it was only, I guess, active like every 6 to 8 weeks. So like weeks 1 through 7 weren't always the most best horror for that night. So I just took it out of my route. I change this up all the time. Anything else that I need to know about before we leave the space? Did you get anything? Nothing at all? All right. Yeah, let's go cut through that tour and abate this one. So let's get in front of this one. We're going to go through.
Will we stop recording? Okay.
So I'll kind of tell you the history. So every ghost tour stops here. This is normally their grand finale because there's something to see. So let me kind of explain why they stop here. It's their one show and tell. My show and tell is in your hands with a bunch of blinky lights. Now, the sign right in front of the web, I believe, actually reads, "There's no ghost here, but the Holy Ghost." They don't want people like me with cameras like what Madison's using to try to recapture what occurred here. Here's what occurred here. It's a very short one. 1888, a young lady died by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. Somebody tell me what her initials are. What do they spell out?
SHH.
What does that spell out? Exactly. It's very cheesy, it's campy, but we've seen it on the Ouija board device and we've seen it on your worthless device. So take that for what it's worth. Sue dies 6 days after her stillborn child. Very sad story. 99 years later, exactly, June 16th of 1987, a local photographer named Harry Reynolds is taking pictures of all of our cemeteries. He captures a full apparition in one of his photographs. Keep in mind, it is 1987. He does not have the technology that we have today. He has to send it over to Kodak for the Inward Crowd. That's where we send our pictures so we can hold them. Yes, that's a good joke on the rest of us. Bless you. So, Kodak can confirm the camera that he took it on, of what he said, and that the picture was not altered. So now we have this beautiful apparition, and it is normally in the top 100 of best apparitions ever caught. I will tell you that the picture is cursed, which is why I'm not going to be telling this story for much longer. I would normally tell the Anne Bonny story across the street, hence we're over here. Now we're still pretty close to the anniversary of June 16th, so again, it's summertime, still working on a new story that's going to be crossed over this way. However, I'm going to show you guys what this apparition looks like. It is cursed to females. Females that handle it, touching it in a digital format still, even tablet or phone, are said to get the same symptoms we talked about at the beginning: headache, nausea, dizziness. Pregnant females are said to not have a good pregnancy based off the gist of the story of it being a stillborn child. You guys can see why I don't always like this story. So I will show you, I will zoom in on the apparition so you guys can all see it. And by the way, I don't want to be the guy where somebody had a great honeymoon and 9 months later I cursed your damn family. So try not to play around. Let me zoom in on it for you because again, I'm the one handling it every single day. A lot of people like to try to joke around like, let me zoom in. I'm like, no, get the hell off my tablet. Yeah, I'm a jerk like that.
Do you still see it?
I rotated my camera around just
to circle around, or if you guys want me to go around the room, that's perfectly fine too. So here's your full picture that he took. Your apparition is right here. You're looking at a woman praying over her own grave with a baby basket next to her. I want you guys to also remember what I told you about baby George thinking over there. The baby might be buried with mom. I could find no burial records for this child nor name. So again, I know that the child was born stillborn, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't have buried him with them. Because again, she died 6 days later. So her grave, for all the people holding cameras right now, you guys see the cross headstone off in the distance?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Her grave is
Right
to
straight
the
in front
left
of me.
and one more row back. We were actually closer to her when we were back in the alley. So just kind of keep that in mind. But this is the only visual that we can get. So we are going to spare boxes if you have one. Start listening in. Let's get those, obviously get you unmuted too, and then headphones on to the other two. Let's get you guys listening. So Jeff, did you hear anything along the way here?
Yeah, I heard lost cause, wrong wave, less fortunate, never again. Those are the only things that I've heard that like make sense, like I can make out.
Right. Well, again, it's all about what you can make out.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about. I'm going to write down a few of those. Let's see if you guys have a minute.
Fine.
I've seen freaking bush.
Huh?
I thought I was seeing the lady.
I like
In the
the
bush.
lost cause.
Yeah, wrong wave, lost cause, less fortunate, never again.
My finger got in the way. I was like, what's this? I was about to drop this thing. Nothing?
areas where the boys can come up and we don't know before.
Free, but nothing.
Yeah.
So what just came up was
RDS is being
Limit scope came up and you were telling them where to point. Milk came up when we were in the house.
I've gotten 3s and the 3 bumps in the 50s since we've been here. I think it's a 56 and a 53.
That's really high. I got like a 3.2.
My thing might be faulty.
Well, we're also like on sidewalks.
That's true. Yeah, just since we've been standing still here, every once in a while we're just...
I'm gonna put a question mark next to 50
Yeah.
just because, and I'm gonna take a 3.2 just because those length of mirrors are probably gonna give like closer to a 7 or 8. Yeah. Kind of get that sense. I did. Why though?
You heard that too? Go.
He's talking to the window board over there. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate groups like this, that everybody's involved and everybody's having fun. They're
I
smiling
heard
faces.
go.
We're not leaving.
My husband and I both heard go. I don't know, not go like scary go, but
Go in?
I was just curious what was there.
Who's got the
Oh, that's
key?
the windows, I think.
I'm gonna give this like another minute because again, every tour comes up here, so I try not to take up too much time. And what I'll do is I'll move this down by the gate over there, and I'll explain our last 2 stops because it's completely different than what we've been doing. You know, we'll see that once we get going.
I mean, you see some shadows that look almost like somebody, but
Like, who belongs to who? Whose
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
are
So
these?
Suze and I are sisters.
Okay.
And
baby boy.
this is my
boy.
son.
Get it,
and his
Jeffrey.
girlfriend, Christine. And then the rest of everyone are Sue's friends and very close family. Or family and very close friends.
This is my dad, and that's my cousin.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you guys were gonna be all over the map. I was like, I'm not even gonna ask. Too much going on there. Where's
Mine
Doug
keeps
Paul?
spiking too high and it makes me anxious. It spiked to the 50s like 3 times and no one else has gotten anything.
Right, that's true.
There's positives to this.
All the downfalls, none of the benefits.
Yeah, because I'm a cool dad. Y'all wouldn't know how to work this thing.
It's just like this.
Yeah, but you're not doing very good at it.
I'm not. I'm sweating so bad.
So I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place.
My wife's entire family idolizes me. Like, my father-in-law is my biggest fan. Like, he comes when they're coming down to visit, he goes to every tour. He just wants to see what's there.
I get-
Work. He talks to the guests like he's been investing for them forever. He's hysterical. But even like my sister-in-law, you know, and her kids, like I get along with them.
Yeah.
They're great too. And the same respect that you guys are joking around. It's kind of that mentality behind it. My wife's like, what? I don't care. You know.
Pug's a common dog.
Oh, we're not even breeded yet.
You're a
All right,
pug.
let's go ahead and stop those cams. I think we got enough staring footage at headstones. We're going to move down a little bit. So I'm going to teach you. Heard November 1st of 1933. So again, we're about 90, going on 91 years of the anniversary of this. Here's what happened. A lady fell to the ground and started screaming in pain. A man hit me. I know I'm going to die. She's with a friend. It's in the middle of the afternoon, and everybody's a gentleman back then. Somebody driving by seen a woman on the ground and stopped to help her. Well, he can't figure out what's going on with her either, so he actually helps her into his car and drives her to the hospital. That's where MUSC sits now, but it was called St. Roper's back then. You've probably seen a few St. Roper's hospitals around town. Anyway, she gets down there. She has a doctor. The doctor's name is Dr. James Avery Finger. It's a silly name, but we've gotten all 3 parts of his name while we've been here, all in the same evening. The doc can't find what's going on with her either. Again, same repetitive thing she's saying. A man hit me. I know I'm going to die. Guess what? She did. Right on his table. And he didn't know what happened to her. Her name was Mary Ravenel. If you went over to Mount Pleasant and back again, you went over that giant bridge to get back into downtown Charleston. That's the Ravenel Bridge. This is a very prominent prominent name here in Charleston. If you watch Southern Charm, there is the Ravenel family as a character on that show. So kind of giving you as a perspective. I will make a few tags for the audio piece. We have a giant group of girls behind Webb, so they're going to be chatterboxing it up. I'm just going to make sure I don't capture that and count it as a ghost. And Ben's chuckling at me because he knew exactly where I was going with that. Now, moving on. She did die, and the doc decides to send her over to the coroner and autopsy for him to figure out what actually happened to her. The coroner finds a scrape underneath her arm, like she was blocking something, and a bullet wound inside of her rib cage. It was a 38 that shot her, went all the way through her chest, and killed her slowly. Now, here's a couple of things that we do know. Somebody picked her up and drove her away. So, Webby might want to just lower that camera. Somebody drove her away. That means that the shooter escaped. We don't know who he is at all. There's no gunpowder residue on her body at all. This was not a close shot. All of her jewelry and cash were intact. She was not robbed. This woman is 64 years old. I want to believe this was their second marriage for her, so that, hey baby, where you been all my life, makes sense to me. She also is from Detroit, Michigan, which means she's from the north. She married into a very southern, prominent family, and that southern family member died, which means the northerner got her money. I'm giving you my perspective of what happened. Can't prove any of it, I'm just getting your wheel spinning. Here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to come up with the questions on what to ask Mary, so that way Sue can hear her in her own ears. What would you ask her?
Who shot you?
Who shot you? Okay. What else? Keep them coming.
Where did it happen?
Where did it happen? We know that one. That's a good one. So that way we can verify. We know it happened 2 blocks from here. I can't remember the exact cross street, but it's definitely a meeting and something else. Someone she knew. What's the motive? And then, by the way, I want to also point out Jolene's question, was it somebody you knew? That's a yes-no question, but okay in this instance because there's going to be an elaboration on the answer. No, I did not. Yes, I did. So in this instance, when we're looking for direct EVP, it's okay. Using radio chatter, not so okay, because everything can be counted as a yes-no because it's a simple syllable. So that's why I always say, on this instance, it's okay. Ask whatever you want to. What other questions would you come up with? Amy, you got anything? We know that answer too, which is good. Something we can verify. She was 64, just so you know. Alright?
Does she even know who it was?
We should also keep in mind, she may not have even known she was shot.
I was gonna say, like,
A man hit me. Yep, that's why I repeated several times so you guys pick up on that clue.
yeah,
How did she know she was going to die?
How much pain did she feel?
Okay?
Unfinished business, like she wanted it to be over. She didn't want to die.
Now you guys are all asking me these questions, and I'm proving a point. When you're speaking to a ghost, you don't need to walk into a room, come up with a plan with your other person, and then go scream into the room where you think the ghost is haunted. She can hear us. Even if you're asking me, you're technically asking her. So if we get direct answers to your questions, hopefully it shows up here. Again, these were people. You have to remember. Now, a couple of things. You guys asked some really decent questions, so I'm pretty good with that. I'm going to tell you what we've caught so far if you want to come up with more questions as I'm telling you this. This is the new space for this year. So I wanted something brand new we haven't done before, bought the voice recorder, and I came up with this whole story, and I'll tell you how I came up with it in a minute. But what we've caught so far was a help in the background, and it was heard in real time. So it was a rando Tuesday or Wednesday, completely quiet, no cars, and I sent somebody around the corner because this person said, I just heard a woman's voice. Looked over that way, looked this way, nobody around. A few weeks later, we have a help me, I have fallen. Same thing, heard it in real time, went back to the office, I verified it, and I also had the keyword of help, which means I can now analyze both helps from each EVP into the same person. I can tell that by looking at the audio waves from those particular EVPs, not to mention the tone of voice was the same as well. So very interesting piece on that. I have a few mumbles. I don't like to count those because I can't verify what was being said, and there was a lot of people talking at the same time. So it was just a very odd instance. Any other major questions before I tell you how this story actually came about? You had lost it?
Was she? Wait, she was pushed, right?
No.
No,
She was
like,
shot.
if she's been hit, she said she got hit, right?
Yeah.
but maybe she doesn't know
Was
she
she
shot. She just feels something.
Right. She just feels
Horrible.
pain.
She wasn't
But you said it happened from a distance, right? It had to have if there's
That
There's theories about that maybe she had her own 38 and tripped on it, and it was in her handbag and shot her that way. Therefore, the gunpowder residue would have went on the outside of the hole, which is inside of her handbag.
That's what I was confused about.
There's a lot of
She
confusion.
got hit, but also shot. Also,
No.
got lost.
It wasn't hit, and also she was shot.
So why did she say
But she didn't know she was shot. Sorry. So, here's how the story came about. When I wasn't coming over here, I would normally take you guys straight into Washington Park over here on the corner, and we would do this blind hole test with the seer thing that Webb's about to do. So one night, things were starting to come about that I didn't know what they meant. We had the name Mary, we had murder, and we had the number 33. And then an image showed up, and I had no idea what any of it was, putting it all together. And I started doing research about other ghost stories around town, and I came across this murder mystery. I'm going to show you the image that showed up, and that'll kind of give you guys like the hint of like why I started doing this. So the image that you're about to see is, oh my God, I can still hear him, like 10 blocks away. Sorry, Sue. You're going to see Mary on the left and the artificial intelligence image on the right. I'm going to go around the room so you guys can see this. I want you to remember that the words Mary, murder, and 33 also showed up in the exact same night. Yeah. Look at the eyes, look at the facial features, the cheekbones, the smile, the lips. Like it's pretty much almost identical.
I don't want to see that.
I don't like that.
That's creepy as hell.
So this picture is turned. Obviously, it came up this way as a woman lying down, but I turned it so that way we can have the facial comparison. So what we're about to do over there, we might still hear from Mary because we're going to be pretty close, right? Also remember, like, there's other things that can happen during this whole session. Anybody else want to give this thing a crazy listen before we go blindfold some people? Jeff wants to try it out, so you go ahead and tune it on. It's completely.
You can't hear anything.
So was she married at the time?
She's a widow.
Husband came up.
Oh, you can. Yeah, that's
It's super loud.
Lung, when you were talking about the bullet.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, that was great. Motorcycles were amazing.
We have a carriage right next to us. It's tagged, so I can count as a ghost. Anything else weird going on with your devices? Yeah. Give him about a minute or so, and then pass it around if anybody else want to listen to this when he's done. Dalton, I thought you'd be jumping all over that. You want to jump on?
You can see my veins.
No, I've been
that
listening
is
to the
crazy.
headphones all night. So.
Fair. This is a totally different style of headphone, though, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like right there.
So my mother-in-law actually uses this to watch TV when she's visiting. So when we call some people, she just points it at the sound bar and she's good to go.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's very
Because
clear.
like as we're talking, it's like I'm moving noises.
All right, just back in this guy.
Maddie, are you wanting to listen to that thing?
Okay, so explaining on what
Okay.
happens. So he dies.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
And who gets the money?
If she dies,
After she died.
probably would have went to one of her daughters. I want to say she had 2 daughters.
We still don't know what the motive is.
If there was one. There's a
Could
lot
it
of
have been
theories.
an accident?
Could have
Talk
been.
about it.
Some people say, like, there was one story that actually said that somebody was shooting at the cats in the neighborhood
A boy, perhaps.
with a 38. Like, that's a serious gun in 1933. Like, it was normally only used by cops. Like, to be quite honest, like, it's a pretty rare gun back then. And I don't know anything about firearms. I had to learn about this shit. Like, is 38 a common thing? Would you be able to get it easily? But apparently, it's a flat-foot gun only. Like, that's man. But first off, why would you be shooting at cats in the neighborhood with a 38? Like, won't they explode? Like, it's serious. Like,
Somebody really hated cats.
I'm about to say, y'all know about guns. Y'all know anything about a 38?
you can hit the right button.
No.
You need to record your feet.
Nope, I carried 45, 9mm, and a 308.
Know anything about a 38?
Like he said, a bunch of cops used to carry it all the time.
Kill you. Well, yeah.
All right, Andy, you got a square button, 2 to the left of the ring of fire. Go ahead and tap it. In the room.
Stick your arm out.
So I do listen to this recording from.
here's how this goes. First time I came in here, this is the new spot for it last year. I only had 2 people. I always start after Halloween because obviously Halloween's my biggest time of the year, and it starts to slow down. I get to experiment for things for January. So 2 people. Everybody else canceled because it was cold as hell. I told the young lady with the spirit box, tell me whatever you hear because I don't even know who we're looking for. She heard the year 1828, the name Henry. I was using Sherry's word list that night because that's what happens when you have 2 people. I use a few things in my pockets too. I had the name Tim. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, who was born in 1828. I was like, okay, that was easy. Hot damn, there's my ghost. Here's his story. It's very quick and short. The guy's a writer. He's sick through most of his life. Being born in 1828, he can go fight in the Civil War because he's old enough, and he's a Confederate. He's from South Carolina. So he goes out to the battlefield. His comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent his ass home, knowing he was a writer, said, go be the voice of the war, man. Go tell people what's going on out here. He came home to Charleston, started writing poetry about what was happening on the battlefield. This guy's being taught in colleges now because he is a laureate of the Confederacy. So right next to Edgar Allan Poe and Emily Dickinson, all the other great poets, like he's being put right up there with them now. His work is finally being recognized over the past 5 or 6 years. Anyway, moving forward. He's doing pretty well for himself, and he's writing all the poetry, he's being published. He has a son. The son's name is Willie. He's born on Christmas Eve, but he did die 9 months later. So the last dead baby of the night, because it is our last story. I'm sorry, there was a lot of them. Anyway, very sad for him and his wife Katie. They're mourning. Henry's not writing as much. He has another friend that he went to school with, another writer. His name is Paul Hamilton Hayne. He offers him his cottage in Columbia. He says, go get back on track, man. Leave your wife Katie behind to mourn with her parents that were here visiting. He goes out to that cottage, and that's where he wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality. Today's language, it translates to, dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a bloodstain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. Perfect way for a writer to go, but there's more. They show this last page that he wrote at the Charleston Library Society every year on Halloween only. They call it the Blood Book. And the reason why is that bloodstain looks like a man writing at his desk. It's very creepy. You have to be a member of the society to be able to go see it, but the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to go talk to them as if they're a ghost. I'll give them a few tips and tricks of what to expect. Just so you guys know, for the 2 gentlemen listening to their spirit boxes, they're not going to be able to hear any direction. They're going to need tapping direction. So what does that mean? If they're too loud, I'll need somebody nearby to tap them on the shoulder. So people tend to grow in volume as they do this because they can't hear everything else around them. When we're done, because we'll do this for 10 minutes, they'll get a tap on the leg. So whoever's closest by me, you guys are all family, I'll just pull one of you and say tap them on the leg and get them tapped out. I don't touch the people on the bench. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. Here is your blood book. We have gotten shapes from Webb's device that he's about to go through that have been in this shape. So very interesting pieces.
What is his name again?
This is Henry Timrod. So, and you'll have links to his work as well. Like his full published works are available online, so I'll give you guys that in your report. That's a static a link. But again, for me, this tells the whole damn story. Behold our brief mortality, cough, cough, death. And like again, we started off with a nice, easy football player, guys, and I made it a little bit darker. We're ending with a bloody death. Are we all good with that?
Absolutely.
Again, this guy is also like he can be. It might take me a minute or 2 to get him to come out. We'll kind of see how he goes. Oh, reminder for all of the people in this group, not them. Dr. Laz's house that he lived in is right around the corner. He loves to come through. I'm not telling them, so they're not looking for things relevant to the doctor. That's the whistling doctor from the alley, in case you forgot. All right, you guys ready? Yep. All right, let's do it. We gotta get Madison off that back.
that a memorial to the poet?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he buried there?
No, just a statue of the area.
Sometimes we get zero. We got the same number. I can't do anything about it. So if someone talks to us, they're gonna talk to us. I don't care.
I can't see him in the glasses.
Stabbed. That's lovely.
You're creepy. Go away. You getting anything?
Let me get you a new headset.
Hmm?
Alright, turn your volume down. Plug it. You got a Sasquatch already? Give me the button. I'll wrap them up.
It's a hairy man or a hairy
Oh, like a literally Sasquatch.
Okay. Dalton, go for it. Got a set volume?
Yep.
Alright, let's do it. You guys can both get your headphones on. We don't need you. Blindfold first. Okay, Henry. Having some technical pieces wrong tonight, so we're trying to fix everything. Henry, let's talk about your work. Can you tell me about your job, what you do for a living? You can show us images of that. I got 3 gentlemen on the bench tonight as an apology, continuing to put females here, which you're not always comfortable with. You can say thank you.
Experiment.
Yeah, this is definitely an experiment. Again, you haven't seen this before. Here every night.
Distant.
Distant. Henry,
Pretty easy.
are you going to give us some images and maybe have a conversation with us tonight?
President.
Henry, let's talk about your work. Tell us what you did for a living. But nice and easy.
True love.
Oh, you want to talk about your wife? You got to tell us her name. We need to verify what you want to speak about.
Nephew.
I don't know anything about nephew.
John.
Henry. This is Webb using the blue box. You can give us images so he's not bored in there all night. You know how that works. Just get close to it. Go pick up on things that you want to talk about.
Graduates.
Any words?
I got like the Northern Lights going on.
Just the galaxy like we have.
Nope. Now it's turned into the sky with like rainbow colors above the sky.
What location of the world is it?
It's just the sky.
Do you know if there was a seascape or?
No blue.
We should be able to get through this on one bar. We've been on it for 2 minutes. We need 8 more. Henry, I don't know what that skyline was for, but it's definitely not in the skyline we would see here in Charleston. Wow, they're really not saying much, are they? Henry, talk about your work.
Israel.
No, it's from Israel. Thanks for letting us know. Talk about your work. It's going to be a little bit more demanding tonight because me apologizing by putting 3 gentlemen on the bench
Territory.
instead of females.
bicycle.
Yeah. Web.
Peace.
Henry, you work. What did you do for a living? You can talk about your last page and give us an image of that. We will understand.
Today.
You want to talk about your illness? We have the word ill on one of the boxes we use.
Celebrate.
Henry, you have the word ill. Can you tell us what type of illness you had?
Jesus.
It's not an illness.
For some.
Solomon. It's humid. That's a little bit.
It's very humid. It got hotter. She was known for building.
Henry, your word. You got the word illness.
Hurt.
Look for the letters TB. Tuberculosis is shortened by TB. How were you feeling? How do you feel about me?
Highlight.
How do you feel about me coming here every day? Asking you all these questions, night after night.
Go.
It was very personal. A couple of sessions like that. Henry, let's confirm that. How do you feel about me coming here every night herding the bear?
Named.
Henry came out. Did somebody else come here with you? Somebody else come here with you?
I've been. Along with some keys.
Somebody else have a specific question you would like to ask?
And listen.
What do you want to tell us about your words?
My name is Derek.
You're talking to me.
Make the most.
What's the date?
Broad. Trying to tell us to not focus so much on your work, maybe the love you have for your wife Katie. Get some kind of confirmation of a lot of information.
Words you love.
Somebody else try
We
something
all
else.
need to be forgiven.
What happened?
Relaxing.
Try to be more specific.
Where have you been?
It's just your last name.
What happened when?
Henry,
And I'm Danielle.
this is the first time I've given my guest the opportunity to ask questions. Trying to be respectful back. Do you need me to read some of your work before we close this out to show respect? Just say so. We don't have to Apparently, he's a smart ass.
I will love you.
Henry, how many minutes do we have left?
Saturday morning.
Henry, any images you would like to show us?
South. Escape the heat.
We would love to. Henry, I've asked you quite a few questions that I normally ask
Betty.
Who's Betty?
Don't. Keep hearing this stuff.
Yeah, I ask you the same questions every night. You tell me to change them and I will. Elizabeth, if you were trying to come through with the name Betty, tell us who you are.
Something young people.
There's a lot of young people here. Elizabeth, tell us who your son was. That'll verify that that's you. But we are running out of time.
Got a picture of. I can't even describe what it is.
I'm sorry, what was
I
that?
said I got a picture, but I cannot even describe what it is.
Okay.
To be
We'll all
honest with
see
you.
it when we're all wrapped up here. We are down to about a minute and a half. About a minute now.
Starting to happen.
Henry, what's the image that we have in the little blue box? Wow, Jeff's like gone.
All because
He's gone quiet.
All because what?
You got anything? No. Nothing. Not Zoom circle.
into these things.
I don't think he was here.
We're going to be wrapping this up. Henry, we're going to leave you alone. Can you tell us goodnight?
Already won.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we're leaving.
You getting anything?
Henry,
No.
Pronto.
like, get the hell out of here. Henry going once for an image?